No one in the town talked about the forest after dark, but everyone adjusted their steps when they passed its edge. Elias never believed in those silent warnings. He believed fear came from imagination, not from trees and shadows. That belief began to crack on the night he stayed late at work and chose the forest path to shorten his walk home. The air felt heavier than usual, pressing against his chest with each breath. The forest was unnaturally quiet, as if insects and birds had agreed to stop moving all at once. Elias slowed his pace, listening to the sound of his own footsteps, suddenly aware of how loud they were. That was when the pain began. It started deep in his chest, not sharp enough to scream, but strong enough to steal his breath. Elias bent forward, gripping his coat, telling himself it was stress or exhaustion. Yet the pain did not fade. Instead, it spread, crawling through his ribs and down his spine, as if his body were being pulled apart from the inside. His grandfather's voice surfaced in his mind without warning. "Never walk near the forest on a full moon. Some blood does not forget what it is." Elias tried to stand straight, but his knees buckled. His fingers stiffened, curling inward as his joints burned and stretched. Panic flooded his thoughts as his hands pressed into the damp soil, nails splitting and thickening into something darker and sharper. His scream twisted into a sound he did not recognize. Bones shifted beneath his skin with sickening force. His jaw ached violently as it lengthened, teeth forcing their way through bleeding gums. Muscle tore and rebuilt itself, stronger than before, while coarse fur pushed through skin that could no longer contain it. Elias tried to think of his wife. He tried to remember her laugh, her voice, his own name. The pain drowned every thought, until hunger was the only thing left. When the moon rose, the transformation was complete. The creature lifted its head and inhaled slowly. Fear lingered nearby, carried on the warmth of living breath and the subtle scent of sweat. Someone was close, unaware that the forest had already claimed them. A lantern flickered along the path ahead. A traveler walked alone, humming softly, his light swaying between the trees. The attack was swift and merciless. Teeth tore through flesh, and bone snapped under crushing force. The lantern shattered, plunging the path into darkness, broken only by the sound of tearing and the echo of a scream that ended too quickly. By morning, Elias woke naked and trembling near the forest's edge. Blood stained his hands and chest, and he knew with certainty that it did not belong to him. Memories returned slowly, each one heavier than the last. They found him days later, after another body was discovered. This time, they did not ask questions. They chained him beneath cold stone and whispered prayers older than the town itself. Elias begged them to end his life before the next full moon arrived. They could not. When the moon rose again, the chains snapped like thread. The forest filled with howls that carried both rage and agony. Something wearing Elias's face walked free, while the man inside screamed for a mercy that would never come. Even now, on clear, moonlit nights, the forest still answers itself. If you listen closely, you can hear two voices in the howl. One belongs to a monster. The other belongs to a man who remembers exactly what he has done.